The Monday, July 28th, 2025 regular meeting of the Paris City Council is hereby called to order at 5:30 p.m. For the purpose of this meeting, there's a quorum of the council present. Agenda item number 2, invocation. Mr. Gene Anderson will deliver the invocation, followed by the United States Pledge of Allegiance and Texas Pledge will be led by the City Council. Please rise.
May we pray. Heavenly Father, we know that you have ordained government, Father, to maintain the peace and order of our society, that we might, Father, be prosperous and pursue that which we desire to do. And we just pray for our local government tonight as they meet, as they make decisions, Father, that impact this community. And we just pray that they all would be wise decisions and that you would give them direction. We pray and ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Agenda item number 4, Citizens Forum. Persons desiring to address the council must limit their presentation to no more than 2 minutes. Unless an item is posted on the agenda, the Texas Open Meetings Act prohibits a council from responding to any comments other than to refer the matter to a future agenda, to an existing policy, or to a staff person with specific factual information. Claims against the city council members or employees, as well as individual personal appeals, are not appropriate for Citizens Forum. If necessary, the City Council may convene into executive session under Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code regarding any item on this agenda. The Citizens Forum is now open. Come on up.
Good evening. How are y'all tonight? Mayor?
Good evening, sir.
First of all, I'd like to state appreciate y'all's volunteering for this little episode. More brave than I am. My name is Richard Thompson, 3206 Bonham Street. I'm just here tonight to give y'all some information because I understand all y'all get is what you're told, basically. Staff tells you this and that. That's how you make your decisions. Mine tonight is a proposal, just a suggestion. But on your building codes, when you go in to put a new building in, something at this nature, that you put your underground in, your approaches in and all that, but your driveways in. A lot of cities do this. What this causes is it actually saves lives. That's the main thing, it's safety. If you've ever been by somewhere, you know the streets are dry, it rained here recently, you have a muddy truck come out of a parking lot or dirt road, puts mud on the road, guess what you're gonna do? You're going for a ride. Well, what I suggest, and like I said, other cities do it, is make an underground go in. If they have 10 horns, approaches, any of that, put all that in, put the entire parking lot in before you ever start your structure. Because this is going to save, there's no downside to this proposal. Now, what I'm asking you to do is people have been building these buildings for 20 years this way. I'm asking you to show them that they've been building it wrong for 20 years. That's a hard sell. But it is true. It's nothing but 100% benefits. That's my first one. My second one is make y'all aware of Encore. And if you have a transformer, say your house is on one side of the street, transformer's on the other side of the street, your wire runs across the street to your weatherhead of your building. I understand.
Yeah, keep going.
What happens if a truck comes by? Encore will replace this line for free if this is a situation. The only way Encore will do it, though, is if a truck tears it down and rips it off your house.
Mr. Thompson, I'll give you 10 more seconds just to conclude, please.
Can I get up here again on the second subject?
Sorry, we can't.
Robertson's rules. Okay, thank you.
Please, yes.
My name is Mason Laborde. I live at 260 Red Oak Lane in Powderly. I would like the City of Paris to join the City of Roxton in forming a 391 commission to look to address concerns about battery energy storage system facilities that are being constructed nearby in Lamar County. The potential for battery fires poses a serious risk to life and property, and I don't believe that our first responders have received the adequate training or equipment in order to safely address these fires, let alone to protect their surrounding communities. I'd also ask that this council add concerns about the hazards associated with battery energy storage systems to their regular agenda. And that's all. Thank you very much for your time and attention.
Thank you.
I'm John House. I've lived in Paris pretty much my whole life. And I currently live on Clarksville Street. And I travel towards the intersection of Collegiate and Clarksville Street quite often, maybe 2-3 times a day. And my concern is the intersection there has weeds on it. I mean, it always does. And nothing gets done until somebody calls. It's not on anyone's to-do list. If you drive by there tonight on your way home, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. There's the same weeds, they just keep popping up, and then I may pick up the phone and call Public Works and it'll be gone. But we really shouldn't have to do that, because I feel like that's the gateway to our civic center. You know, we have PJC, we got the police department, everybody gets to see it, you know, and I wish someone could take that responsibility. Another thing I thought about is streetlights. You know, I can go out any night and find streetlights that aren't burning. And I'm thinking, you know, well, we got these police cars that patrol the streets, and maybe let every policeman report one street light out once a week. And I think, you know, it'd be pretty soon we'd have street lights that burn. I mean, I reported 2 of them about a month ago, and they both got fixed. But it just seems like there might be a better way to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. Thank y'all for the opportunity to talk to you today. My name is Patty Mayfield. I live at 901 County Road 26100 in Roxton, Texas. A couple of weeks ago, a cohort of mine, Alyssa West, just talked to you guys about forming a 391 committee, and I just wanted to update you on the fact that on July the 22nd, at the Roxton City Council meeting, that tiny little town has decided to take a huge step and form a 391. On behalf of the Lamar County Watchdogs and the Lamar County GOP, I'm asking you to take the step and join with that tiny little town and show them that the people in Lamar County do care about their county. The 391 won't stop the green energy explosion in our county, but it will definitely give the citizens the ability to say what they can and can't do. Other counties in the state of Texas, Kerr County, Van Zandt County, a lot of counties have joined 391s, and they are making a difference. There are some lawsuits going on and things like that to make them adhere to a standard. And that's all we care about, is that we're safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, Citizens Forum is now closed. We will now move on to the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are approved by a single action of the council. With such approval applicable to all items appearing on the consent agenda, a council member may request any item to be removed from the consent agenda and considered as a separate item. Does any member wish to remove an item from this agenda for discussion? If not, I'll hear a motion.
I make the motion that we approve the consent agenda as it is.
Thank you, sir. We've got a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Got a second for Ms. Moore. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries 7-0. We will now move on to the regular agenda. Agenda item number 16, discuss, conduct a public hearing, and act on an ordinance considering the petition of Mevin Bezvisky for a zoning change from a general retail GR to a commercial district C in the Speedy Stop Number 8 Edition, Block A, Lot 1, LCAD 17919, located at 1900 Clarksville Street. Mr. Almo-Mensah, do you have a presentation?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, and Mayor Pro Tem and Council. So this is a rezoning application, and the property owner is Mr. Mevin Bensky. He's requesting for a zoning change from general retail district to a commercial district located at 1900 Clarksville Street. The lot is approximately 19,406 square feet, tract located in the Speedy Shop number 8 Edition, Block A, Lot 1, LCAT number 17919. And there is currently an existing unoperational dilapidated gas station on the lot, which will be demolished to make way for the new construction of the proposed mechanic and automotive tire shop. The gas station has been closed and is now being in operation for not less than 10 years. So the proposed plan is to demolish all structures and construct a new mechanic automotive tire shop. The current future land use map is guided by retail. Therefore, the rezoning action will be in accordance with the city's comprehensive plan. Looking at the analysis based on the surrounding areas, we have certain areas to the north, we have commercial, and then to the south, we have some areas that are zoned residential. To the east, we have public lands in institutional district, and to the west is bordered up with a vacant retail building, and to the back, to the south is general retail, with future land use also guarded for retail. Currently, we are hoping that this use for mechanic and auto shop, tire shop, will be under the current district, which will be a retail district. So changing this zoning from the general retail district to commercial will allow the proposed use to be permitted. For the use of land and buildings subsection 8-105, these type of uses will be allowed under the commercial district, and that is the main purpose of this zoning change. The planning department has currently received one input from Ms. Philia Bezingame at 1955 Clarksville, who has concerns with the commercial zoning, which she thinks that it's possible that there might be smoke or vape shop, which she is opposed to that type of use, because when it is zoned commercial, any type of use in the commercial area can be placed in there. So, but currently, on the July 7th, the Planning and Zoning Commission met on this case, and they voted 4-2 in favor of this application. Currently, staff recommends approval from changing this request from the general retail to commercial. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Council, any discussion, any questions that you may have for staff or for the developer? I don't know if the developer's here currently.
No.
I do have a question. Has there been a traffic study to kind of look at the influx of cars? I mean, it's a small street, and that would be my concern as far as vehicles with an auto shop getting in and out on the 2-lane and the traffic around on Clarksville.
If we can pause on that question for just a moment. I apologize. I jumped the gun there for a second with your presentation. I need to open the floor up actually for any kind of public discussion, so I apologize for the record. I will open up the public hearing and ask anyone wishing to speak about this item to please come forward and state your name and address for the record. And now we'll close it.
No.
Oh, no, we have Mr. House. I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. I apologize.
I'm John House again, and I own the property next door at 1870 Clarksville Street, which used to be the Long John Silver's building. And I purchased that building about a year ago, and it's currently zoned general retail, and it's right next door to the dollar store. And my property currently has 52 parking spaces, and I also own the lot right behind that property. And my plans are to put around 50 efficiency apartments geared towards seniors. My thinking is the seniors could walk to the dollar store, buy most anything they need, and they wouldn't have to have transportation. My understanding originally at the Planning and Zoning meeting was like kind of an open-air tire shop like you might see on North Main, maybe. I don't know. It sounds like they're going to demolish all that. But my main concern is I think they said they were going to store the old tires out back, which out back would be from my view and the residential house behind it. And what I'm requesting is asking if there's a possibility that they can put a 10-foot privacy fence around all these old tires sitting out back and perhaps put a cover over it to keep water from getting in there and having mosquitoes, in the old tires. And that's pretty much my concerns, Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? All right, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. I'm sorry, Ms. Putnam, do you mind restating that question, or Mr. Almomensa, do you recall?
Ready.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Oh,
Traffic study?
just, yeah, the influx of an auto shop on that specific spot and the kind of the curve in the road, I feel like that would be problematic, but has it been looked at?
No, we've not done that, but the level of use of that type of property is not going to impact, because it's much more, it's not going to be automotive so much, but it will be much more of tire shop,
Okay.
much more.
So with a automotive shop and a tire shop, are there usually not a lot of cars parked around, which I think would really bring down the neighborhood? Not necessarily on that street, but north and south of that are a lot of residential homes.
In actual fact, if you look at Clarksville, any property facing Clarksville is much more of either commercial or retail. And so,
I'm sorry, what?
commercial or retail on Clarksville facing. So that is the purpose of any development that we are going to look into that comes on Clarksville.
I'm just concerned about an automotive and a tire shop being in that location.
I think the use type is appropriate. Like Ms. Ellis talked about the traffic flow. I don't think currently the Clarksville corridor has been fully utilized at this time, and we are even hoping that much more retail and commercial develop over there. So we currently don't see traffic being an issue on Clarksville.
Mr. Almomensa, I did have a quick question. The other two commissioners that voted against, was there any reasoning behind that?
I think the main concern was the adjoining property owners' concern that he mentioned today was an influence for their decision. So,
And I will say, is there a stipulation or a special use permit or anything that we can put in? I don't know if it would require an SUP, but is there something that we can put in to help with the concern that was stated previously? I do agree. I mean, hey, look, this is a certain type of business, understandable, but can we contain that? Can we put some language in this to kind of enforce that?
sure, we can reiterate. However, there is already an existing code that says where there is a conflicting land use, let's say commercial and residential, you have to put a buffer.
Perfect.
Let's say a noise nuisance. I don't know whether the neighbor is requesting a 10-foot fence. We will have to work with the proposed applicant, how far or how high he can go. And anything that is a nuisance, we will address it with him.
And then, go ahead.
I believe that this use would be allowed by right in a commercial zoning district, so there's not any SUP kind of requirements that we could put on it. But there are some buffering regulations. I can't tell you exactly what that would require in this instance, but there are some different ordinances other than the zoning that could come into play there. And if they're going to construct a new building, to demolish and construct a new building, there would be a site plan and
Correct.
those sorts of things.
And then also, the other question, just to kind of allude back to my colleague here, Ms. Norman, in this type of a business, I know it's commercial and I know that's a big umbrella, but for this particular type of business, is there something that would be a vehicle occupancy or anything for a lot size? Like, depending on the lot size, there's a vehicle occupancy or there's a limit. Is there something like that? Because I understand where Ms. Norman's coming from in terms of, hey, there's a lot of cars being parked in this area for the purpose of changing tires or tire repair, but it's a fair point. Just curious if there's some sort of stipulation.
Yeah, based on the site plan and the size of the new building that is going to do the automotive tire shop, he meets the minimum requirement for parking and everything. So we've looked at the site plan, and all the requirements are met at this point in time.
To my knowledge, and Mr., I'm sorry, I'll say, there is not a maximum number of cars. There's nothing about that in the ordinance anywhere. It's about minimum parking spaces.
Minimum parking spaces, correct.
Okay, understood. And I will just state for the record, these two properties, which I know Mr. House had just mentioned too, the neighboring property, but I would commend both developers. Thank you for your foresight in wanting to develop in our community. These are areas that are been kind of left behind, and we want to see some more tax revenue come through that. We need that badly in our community. So I get the purpose, and I appreciate people looking into abandoned buildings that are wanting to rehab them and do something better with them. Anyone else?
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
All right, it might take me a while. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I think that you probably did address this, and maybe I missed it. Are there other commercial properties in that immediate location, or are they all retail?
No, so to the southwest, adjacent to the residential side, there is commercial. And that is where it gives this property the ability to rezone to attach. Else, it would have been a
Is
spot zone.
southwest?
Yeah. There is a commercial
So that would be
portion.
Mr. House's property?
Yeah, his is much more of the southeast, so.
Is your property southwest?
Southwest. Southwest.
So his is west, but there's a southwest property.
That's commercial?
Yeah, it goes behind where he is talking. He's into the front.
Okay.
So, okay, so there was confusion at the planning and zoning meeting and understanding. So, Mr. Metz, I know you can clarify. So because you met with the people. It's my understanding that it's going to be mainly a tire shop, but the classification has to be, I mean, the maintenance, the mechanic part is in with it. They could if they wanted to, right?
Correct.
That's the classification.
Correct.
But the intent is a tire shop,
Tire.
sort of like what's on North Main and what's on Nagel and Church Street, right?
Correct.
That's the intent. So there's no, the question about stored cars staying there overnight, that came up in planning and zoning, but that's not going to happen at these tire shops. They fix your tire and then they send your car home with you. They don't keep cars there. And as far as tires being stored, I think that was a concern. They sell those tires. So they're stored for a while. Some of them have trailers back there that they put them in, and they get rid of them. And I made the point at the planning and zoning meeting that it's the same as on, Loop 12 in Dallas, Buckner Boulevard in Dallas. They have those tire shops lined up down there. They keep them well, they really neat, and I guess they have ordinances. But anyway, those tire shops are coming to the smaller cities now, and they take care of the one that's up the road from me. They take care of it. It looks nice. They keep it neat. There's no cars stored overnight. If somebody pulled up and just left their car, there's nothing they can do about that. But I haven't ever seen that happen. So I think, and then, from business standpoint, we have nothing over there in those buildings that's been there for 20-something years vacant. And I know Mr. House, and we had the conversation during the planning and zoning meeting, but he bought his property a year ago and he has plans. But the fact of the matter is, those buildings have been vacant for 20-some odd years. Nothing's there. And from a business standpoint, that's going to be a great strategic location for a tire shop. You have one on North Main, you have one on South Main, basically, and then you'll have one on Clarksville Street. And I think they're very convenient because, like I made the point, that if you're looking for tires, you're probably going to go to Goodyear or Michelin over there. But if you're looking to get a tire fixed and quick and you have to get to work, or you don't want to sit around and wait 2 or 3 hours or leave your car, you go to these places and get your tire fixed. So I think it's great use of that area. And from what I've seen of the other businesses here in Paris, they take care of business. All the concerns that council have, and the concerns should be brought up. But from what I've seen, they take care of their shops, and there's not a problem. I haven't seen any complaints. I don't guess the city have had any complaints about those businesses in the past that I know of. So I'm very much in favor of it.
I'm just worried. I mean, I appreciate everything you said, Gary, and I agree this has been a forgotten space, but it is around a lot of residential houses. And there's already a lot of traffic coming out of Kroger's. It's hard to pull in and out with the gas stations. I feel like it devalues the beautiful house across the street that is kind of iconic. And I think that we have a lot of tire shops on North Main. There's some by Walmart. There are new ones coming. I don't think that this is the best place to commercially zone when it's going to lose its, if it could be utilized as a tire shop, or the other concern in the letter that it might turn into something else that we can't control.
Anyone else? If not, I'll hear a motion.
I make the motion that, where we at, item 16? I make the motion that we approve item 16.
Okay, we've got a motion for approval.
Second.
We've got a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no.
No.
Okay, motion
Can I ask how many no's?
3.
You want us to raise our
Okay,
hands?
Thank you.
And then the yays are 4. So motion carries 4-3. We will now move on to agenda item number 17, receive presentation from the Texas Film Commission of Film-Friendly Texas Community and Digital Media-Friendly Texas Community Certificates. Mr. Matt Miller with the Texas Film Commission is here for a brief presentation.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everybody. I feel like I should be saying my address, but unfortunately I don't live in Paris. So good evening, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Matt Miller, and for the past 6 years, I've had the privilege to serve as the digital media production consultant at the Texas Film Commission, where I focus on our animation, visual effects, video game, and extended reality industries in Texas. It is my absolute pleasure to be here this evening to celebrate Texas for achieving not 1, but 2 friendly certifications from the Office of the Governor. Paris is joining over 200 communities across the state to become Film Friendly Texas certified, and is now also the only 4th ever community to become Digital Media Friendly certified. Our office would first like to thank John McFadden with the City of Paris for all of his hard work and coordination throughout the process. We are excited to have a great community partner in John, and we look forward to continuing to work closely with him as he now serves as both the film and digital media community liaison for Paris. Alongside him, we would also like to extend our gratitude to the local community members who agreed to be part of the Digital Media Committee to help chart a bright and unique path forward for the future of these industries here in Paris. Last, and certainly not least, we would also like to thank the mayor, the city council members, and everyone else at the city who assisted, supported, and championed the completion of these exciting economic development initiatives. I would also like to take just a moment, I don't have a 2-minute timer, but hopefully it won't take up more of your time, to share a little bit of information about our office and the Film and Digital Media Friendly Texas programs for those that might not be aware of our office and its goals. The Texas Film Commission was established in 1971 and is part of the Economic Development and Tourism Division within the Office of the Governor. We work to promote Texas as a premier media production destination for not only TV, film, and commercials, but also the digital media industries that I mentioned earlier, so animation, visual effects, video games, and extended reality. So for more than 50 years, the Texas Film Commission has helped grow local jobs and economies. Our office has attracted more than $2.5 billion in local spending and created more than 189,000 production jobs across the state from 2007 to 2024 alone. The statewide economic impact would not be possible without the help of film and digital media friendly Texas community partners such as yourself. With this Film Friendly Texas certification, Paris now has created additional opportunities to showcase some signature locations, such as the Lamar County Courthouse, Red River Veterans Memorial, Trail de Paris, and Sam Bell Maxey House State Historic Site, as just a few examples of what Paris has to offer. This certification demonstrates the City of Paris, businesses, and residents have collaborated to announce Paris is indeed ready for TV, film, and commercial production. And through the Digital Media Friendly training, Digital Media Friendly Texas, training and certification process, statewide communities such as Paris are better prepared to meet the opportunities of those digital media industries that I mentioned earlier in 3 different ways. The first, to attract business opportunities by showcasing these creative professionals and companies that your community is a step ahead of the rest and is ready for those highly skilled and highly paid jobs. Second, to cultivate your digital media community by reaching out and making connections with existing stakeholders to showcase those already living and working within your community. And third, to educate residents to help close the digital divide across Texas by showcasing how these industries span not just entertainment, but also education, healthcare, workforce training, and so much more to help build a bigger, better, more connected Texas. So, on behalf of the Texas Film Commission, it is with great pleasure that I hereby congratulate you on becoming both a film and digital media friendly Texas certified community. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Miller. I will say this, I know we want to take a photo, but just some of the things that you said, well, this community is filled with a lot of talent from the film and from the digital media aspect, and we're lucky to have that talent here. But I will say, I know in talking with John a little bit about this prior to this meeting, there's two more aspects that are there for potential achievement for our community. There's only two other cities that have achieved all four, one of them being tourism and then the other one being music. And this is huge. So if we get a chance to do that, I challenged John to say, hey, let's do all four. Like, we would love to see that for our community. But this gives us a great deal of ability to be able to market our community, show the passion of what our community is about, and the many talents that we have here. And so if we can continue that path forward, that's great. But you helped to make that happen. So thank you. And I know that we want to take a quick picture, but we're a team, so we want to come down as a council and take a picture with Mr. McFadden and you and with the certificates, if that's okay.
Yeah, no, this is great.
All right.
Great.
Let's do it.
Every time you just say that.
Sorry, I'm thinking of a little more than 2 minutes. Okay, great. Yeah. I'll get behind everyone. I'm tall too, so. This is the film-friendly one. Mayor, if you want to hold one. And the mayor pro tem, I'm sorry. Who's, great. Perfect. Oh, well, I don't want to. No, this is about y'all. I'll get on the side. Yeah.
Maybe we'll come behind the podium here. We'll scooch on over.
Yeah, we want to do it open. Yeah, you got it.
Okay, say cheese. I can share it with Hydro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yes. And thank you to Brian Dabbs and John and the whole team. But Mr. Miller, thank you for taking the time to come out.
Of course, no, thank y'all.
All right. Moving on to agenda number 18, we will receive a presentation from Chief Salter about the police department. Chief, do you have a presentation?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. Thank you for the opportunity to give you a high-level overview of the city's police department. In front of you, I handed out a packet, just a small packet, but that'll kind of a graphic depiction of the way the police department's organized by unit, by division. Excuse me. And underneath that, there's going to be a really detailed breakdown of every division's functions, every unit, every subunit, and then all the way down to each individual employee's job description. I've got 10 minutes, and I practicing, I only got this down to 12 minutes, so I'll talk fast.
You're good.
Starting with our administration, it consists of me, Assistant Chief Randy Tuttle, who's back here, and our command staff, who's also here. We have Captain Doug Thompson, if you guys would stand up over here. Captain Terry Bull, and Captain Doug Murphy. So they're here to bail me out in case I get something wrong or y'all have questions I can't answer. Community Outreach Coordinator Kimmy Snowden couldn't make it tonight, but he's a very major part of our department and has done a lot of good work since we have that position approved. We also, under administration, we handle, Assistant Chief Tuttle manages the Citizens on Patrol, and that's a group of 9 citizen volunteers that have gone through our Citizens Police Academy, and then they stay on and continue, and they are a tremendous asset to the department because when you see like the Trail to Paris or any city event, they're the ones out there directing traffic. They come to all of our community outreach events and help. And they're just a tremendous asset. And we're going to try to have another Citizens Police Academy in January, so we can increase those numbers. And we have interest. We have interest people. I think we can fill one up in January. Internal Affairs falls under administration. They all come to me. I assign them out. I make sure if there's an investigation on a patrolman, I make sure that investigation is not done under their chain of command. It's under a different chain of command. Assistant Chief Tuttle is the has primary oversight over the SWAT team and our hostage negotiation team, which is now called the crisis negotiation team. And then we have an executive secretary that supports myself and Assistant Chief Tuttle. Then moving on to the patrol division, run by Captain Thompson. I'm going to talk about, on these divisions, I'll talk about each division staffing levels, primary functions, and just a few performance statistics, so you know the amount of work that they're pumping out each day. Right now, as far as staffing, we are down 7 officers department-wide. 18 months ago, we were down 21 officers. And thanks to the pay raise that you guys approved, we have cut those numbers down quickly. The number of applicants that we're getting and the quality of applicants that we're given we're seeing a big difference in that. And so currently we have 4 officers or 4 brand new graduated cadets from the academy in our field training program, which is 23 weeks. And we have 3 currently attending an academy. We have 3 in the process of being appointed to an academy. So after this last, we do it in testing cycles. I think we pulled 6 or 7 candidates off that list, and we're lucky usually if we get 1 or 2 in the past. So it's had the pay raise has had a tremendous impact on our retention and our recruitment, and so thank you for that. The calls for service for patrol since January 1st, our patrol responded to 11,055 calls for service. We created a telephone reporting unit. When we were down 21 officers, we had to do something to ease the call load. So we created a telephone reporting unit to handle calls that we don't necessarily have to send an officer to. There's no evidence involved. It's my bicycle was stolen yesterday. Here's a description. So we created that unit. We have 3 part-time, all of them former law enforcement. They're already familiar with the language, already familiar with how to write reports. So they staff that unit on a part-time basis, and we try to scatter them throughout the week so we don't have more than 1 working at one time. We also have we don't have full coverage, but we have coverage most of the time during the daytime hours. We also, during this time when we were very short, we created an online reporting system that can be accessed through the police department webpage, where citizens can log in and report, and it'll walk them through reporting any crime, any incident that they want to. And it's kind of foolproof. You can't make a mistake on it. And so what happens is those reports will come in, they'll be reviewed by our telephone reporting unit officers, and then once it's accepted by a patrol lieutenant, it's imported into our report management system. So it's a really good program, and it has a lot of other capabilities that we haven't started using yet. Motor vehicle accident reports, we did 347 of those since January. CID, Criminal Investigations Division, that's run by Captain Murphy. He's currently staffed with 6 investigators. Most of the year he was staffed with 5. We just added another one. Whenever we get 3 officers, then we'll take an officer off the line and put them in CID until we get them fully up to staff. And right now there are 3 down. They've been extremely understaffed for the last couple years, because we have to keep our patrol staffed first, and we've been short there too. So right now, we're still feeling it, but with all the guys we have in training, once that passes through, we're gonna be comfortable again on patrol. Since January, there have been 473 cases assigned to those 6 investigators, and 77 of which were auto theft cases. We are the fiduciary and we lead the Northeast Texas Motor Vehicle Task Force. Detective Cody Logsden, if you guys follow a lot of the stuff that we put out, Detective Logsden is a firecracker. I don't know when he sleeps. He never, if there's something out there, he responds, and you don't want to steal a car in Lamar County because Cody's going to catch you. Services Division, it's our largest division. It's managed by Captain Terry Bull, who's back here. And starting with the records unit, has 3 units under him. He has dispatch, records, and property and evidence, actually 4 property and evidence, and he also runs the animal shelter. So the records unit, we have 3 employees. It's probably, other than patrol, it's probably the most public-facing employees that we have. They have a lot of high level of professionalism, and they're very courteous to the public. It's every day they're at that window, and they get probably as much grief as the water department does at times. But a lot of what they do is respond to open records, public information requests that we get from legal. We review them, we send them to them, and they fill them, and it's very time consuming, because a lot of the public information requests require video now, and all of that video has to be redacted, which means it has to be viewed minute for minute. And a lot of stuff that you can't release to the public has to be redacted out of that. One of our records clerks took on the duties of our sex offender registration officer, and she manages 100 sex offenders within the city limits of Paris. She has to keep the schools notified. She has to maintain current residence addresses for them, and maintain our local database and DPS's database. And it was kind of a job that didn't belong in records, but we didn't have anybody else to do it, so she's doing it for now, and we're going to transfer that back to a uniformed officer when the staffing levels come up a little bit more.
Is that public record, those records?
Is the sex offender database? Yes, yeah. In fact, you can look it up, and then anytime somebody's buying a house, I suggest they look it up to see the street they're buying on. Dispatch, communication, it's also run by Captain Bull. We currently have 1 vacancy. We expect to have another one. We have one of our dispatchers going to Houston here pretty soon, so we'll have another vacancy. We're going ahead and hiring ahead of time so we can get them out of training. Their training is not as extensive as patrol as a police officer, but it's extensive because it's difficult to make that training. We lose about 50% of the applicants when they come in. They don't make training. It's a very intensive, multitasking intensive job. So they're responsible for receiving emergency, non-emergency calls. They have to assess situations as they come in, and they have to dispatch appropriate personnel, whether it's police officers, fire department, or EMS. They are also, a lot of people don't know, that they also receive medical training so that they can give medical guidance, instructions to callers who are experiencing medical emergencies such as CPR until emergency EMS arrives. And this is a note I want to make on that, and that means choking babies, drowned babies, heart attack victims, and these dispatchers, when they're having to deal with a frantic mom or a frantic grandmother and calm them down and talk them through rescue breathing or CPR, it's emotionally really taxing on them. So, after something like that, they have to go back to making regular calls. So I know police officers put up with a lot, but our dispatchers are any dispatcher, they're truly unsung heroes in law enforcement. In addition, they are also the primary answering point, 911, primary answering point for our entire region. I think, how many counties? 9 counties. So they all dispatch, all 911 calls for a 9-county region comes through our dispatch office. We have 13 dispatchers with one supervisor. So when it rains, it pours. Sometimes it's a little quiet, sometimes it's very frantic in there. If you get a major accident on the highway, we don't just get one call. Every phone in the dispatch is ringing. So they're taking the same call, but all the phones are ringing. Moving on to Services Division, Property and Evidence Unit. It's very important. None of our cases make it without the integrity of the evidence. You can't mess that up. Right now we're staffed by one full-time and one part-time evidence specialist and one video technician. The video technician redacts all of those public information requests videos. She's probably backlogged about 2 to 3 months at a time. But we get through it. They have taken in 661 evidence exhibits since January 1st, and they've outprocessed 1,465 evidence items. And that is because for years they were taking in evidence, but nothing was going out. And so now they're really doing a really good job of going through that evidence and getting rid of evidence that we don't need anymore. I want to note, we had some gravestones that were in evidence. I guess people steal them, and they were in there for over 25 years. And one of our evidence techs tracked down the family members and had the stones replaced have them replaced back on the graves that they belonged on, which was she just took that upon herself to do it.
I had a quick question. What is your process of removing evidence?
Well, if it's evidence that's been admitted in court, then the detectives will get with the detectives and make sure that it's not needed anymore. There's some evidence that you have to keep forever.
Okay.
But we'll get an order from the judge to go ahead and destroy it. And if it's contraband, we destroy it. If it's something that can be put into service with the police department, we'll put it into service. And then other things, we can sell it.
Is that done in-house, or do you get a third party to
We have a
help?
third party.
Third
Yeah,
party.
we do it. We go through a third party.
Okay.
Yeah. All of the biological evidence that we collect, that has to be delivered to, if it has to go to a lab, we used to could mail it, we can't mail it anymore, now we have to drive it. It has to be delivered in person to the lab, so now they're on the road once or twice a week delivering evidence to either Dallas or Tyler to the DPS labs. And we do that with two, like a full-time, a part-time, that's it, that's what we have. And then the video tech always does video redaction. Animal shelter. Again, Captain Terry Bull manages this. We have a supervisor at the animal shelter. We didn't have one for a long time. We saw the need for a supervisor in dispatch and a supervisor in the shelter, and so we created both those positions. And right now they're staffed. They got three full-time animal control officers, 2 full-time kennel techs, 1 vacant, but it's about to be filled, and 1 vacant part-time animal tech. And then we have PRNs contract that help us, occasionally. And we're pretty good at getting contract help when we need it. Since January, the shelter has taken in 1,744 animals. Out of that, 1,023 dogs, 666 cats. Well, that's a bad number, isn't it? We got to get another cat. 54 wildlife, consisting of either skunks, raccoons, possums, some wild birds, and then others, snakes, reptiles. And then moving to community outreach, those 3 cover services. So community outreach, it falls back on administration. Myself and Assistant Chief Tuttle manage that program. This program, we didn't even have this position. The council approved this position in the fiscal year 23 budget. And then we didn't hire the position until February of 23. And part of that reason was because we were just looking for the right person. We were looking for that right person, and we found him in Kimmy Snowden. He was a teacher, a retired teacher. He's a pastor. He just fit the bill. The timing was good because he had retired from teaching, and he was looking for a job. So since then, he hit the ground running, and he hadn't slowed down. Sometimes we got to pull the reins back on him. But since January, he's done 17 events, and then last year he did 37 events. And some of the noteworthy ones, we've done the Coffee with Cops that a lot of y'all attend. We've done 7 of those this year. In April, the Easter Hops with Cops at Oak Park. Do the Paris ISD Back to School event. And we just did Saturday, we had our Unity with the Community event at the police department. And I know, Mary, I saw pictures of your kids there. And that's probably our biggest event other than National Night Out. It was a big deal. The kids had a lot of fun. We gave away a lot of bicycles, a lot of TVs, and had a live band out there. I've talked about our citizens on patrol. Some of the things that they do, another thing that they do that was brought up earlier was once a year, they go around and they inspect all the street lights. They drive around, they drive up and down every street in the city, and they make a report of all the street lights that are out. And then we'll contact Encore, and we'll get those fixed. But also on our website, there's a link on there that people can report street lights out directly to Encore. And I will repost that so people see that. And occasionally they drive around on one of our ATVs and patrol the trail, the Paris Trail. What do you call it? What do you call it, Michael? Northeast Trail. I asked him that before I got up here. What do you call the trail? It's the Northeast Trail. Some of our noteworthy initiatives, and I'll close. The video surveillance network in the downtown area that we put in last year, 16 cameras. The entire plaza is covered with video, and since we put that in, we have not had any vandalism that we had beforehand.
Okay.
And so y'all were instrumental in getting that approved.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Norman. Okay, thank you. So there's a good deal, and we're trying to expand that each year. We try to expand that into the parks. I know our IT unit is also putting cameras up in the parks, and we're doing the same thing. And all of that video is monitored from our dispatch. So and the ones in Oak Park that were put in by IT, it's already been successful for us in getting ahead of a big fight that was about to take place out there. We created that telephone reporting unit. That's been really good to take the load off some of the officers. We've done several upgrades to the animal shelter. A couple of years ago, all they had was one big outdoor pen, and it was grass. It got muddy, and now we have, I don't know how many, Captain Bull can tell me, but we have dog runs now, professional-looking dog runs that we can, when they clean that shelter, they can take every animal out of the shelter, put it in a pen, clean the shelter, and then put them back in. And before, they would have to take a few at a time, clean, put those back. So that was a big plus for the animal shelter to get that done. And I've already bragged about the Northeast Texas Task Force with Cody. He really does do good work. And but that's all I have, so I can entertain any questions. What was my time?
We didn't keep track. We were enthralled with your presentation.
Thank you. Okay.
No timer needed.
Hey,
No, please. I
what
want to
area
open up the floor.
is, the most, you putting the cameras downtown, what area do we have that's, I guess the most criminal activity area?
It changes. I mean, Oak Park was a good place to put one.
Yeah,
Leon Williams Park in the back, places that they can hide. We've already done a site survey out there, so that park will be completely covered.
Okay.
And then we're trying to hit public areas where kids are vulnerable. That's what we're trying to hit first.
Okay. Good deal.
Anyone else have any comments? I just want to take just 1 second just to highlight something. You have so many people that do a great job at the PD, but I just want to share something very recent that happened over the weekend, actually, at the Unity with the Community event. I was just playing with my kiddos, and I happened to hear a citizen talk to one of the EMS workers. And this was a first responder, event. And so with the PD, EMS, fire, you have everyone coming out as a community trying to have a good time and promote first responders and all the good things that you do in their community. Had a citizen that was sitting there talking to an EMS worker and saying, I had a heart attack, and obviously you're distraught. You're trying to breathe and work, and trying to save your life. Meanwhile, the house is a mess, you know, and I'm falling over. I can't do anything. They took her off, and she said when she was revived and everything was good and she got back home, everything was put back in place, just how she would have liked it. And she noted that, and I overheard that, and I said, wow. So I just wanted to share that to say, you know, our city staff, our first responders, everyone that works, they do it with passion. There's compassion there. And I felt that touched my heart. I wanted to just be able to share that, because when I heard that, I said, wow, that's really taking your job and going above and beyond. And so for whichever department that was that did that, or whatever group of people that was, thank you. I mean, that goes so far. I just wanted to share that, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do have one question, and I might sound like a bad guy here, but the community outreach position, when we brought that position, you know, when it came to us, it was because of what was going on in the United States. It was actually to bridge the gap between police officers and minority young men. What are we doing? I know we're doing the coffee with cops, but, you know, they're not coming there. And I know we're doing the event with the kids, which is great. We need to start from the, you know, young kids to let them know that police officers are not bad people. I thought firemen were bad when I was growing up, and they're scared.
They still
but
are.
when Joey was officer nails back then, and with the former police chief, I did events, but I targeted young black males at the time. That's who I targeted. And so what are we doing with, as far as community outreach on targeting the young between 20 and 30-year-old, 18 to 30-year-old, the people that, the reason you can't get black officers because they don't trust police officers. So what are we doing as far as building that trust? Because I think that's where the opportunity is.
Yeah, and that's something we haven't touched. Our strategy from the get-go on this was you can't change a lot of opinions at 18 and higher. So we targeted these kids down here, and so that they see us, that when they see us, they're not afraid of us. They've seen us multiple times. A lot of these kids now, when we go out there, they know us. And then they may be 9, 10 years old now, but in 5 years, they're going to be those 15, 16-year-old kids. And so it's kind of like we're investing in these little kids, and then try to change that perception over time. Now, I know the police department and the fire, they had, what did they call it, the athletic, you might have been involved in that. The police, they had boxing, they had police athletic league. Powell.
Yeah, Mr. Deere, Officer Deere.
Yeah, I know they had that in the past, and we've talked about it. We just have not had the staff in the past several years to get that back alive. But we have talked about that with Mr. Snowden, and I know he would like to do that. It's just a matter of when we expand. That's probably what we'll expand to. But then trying to figure out how to get them to want to play, to want to get involved.
That would be great, because you said you're trying to invest in these young kids, but y'all see them very few times, right? You see them very few, so they go back home to the people that's telling them that officers are bad. So that seed is still planted there, but you have to plant a seed. You reap what you sow. Yeah. So I appreciate y'all doing that with the kids, but
there's another thing we do. And it's small baby steps, right? Mm-hmm. It's one person at a time. It's small baby steps. So we also have, every patrol car is a big bag of toys. And if officers have to go into a house, even if they have to arrest mom or dad or brother or sister, and there's little kids in there, they'll leave some toys for those little kids, just to try to leave that positive message when they leave there, because we want those kids to be able to, if they need help, if they're in trouble, that they will trust a police officer, and so that's something else we want. Every patrol car's got that bag in the car.
Yeah, and I'm not always bashing, so I have something good to say. I appreciate, and I'm not going to say it out loud, but you and I talked about it a couple of times. It's something that you have instilled in your officers when you stop certain people that does something stupid. We've all done it when we were young. So that policy there, that sets well. I know some kids or young men or young women that was pulled over for something stupid, and what you have told your officers to do or to try to do in those situations is really going over well, and I really appreciate that.
That's good. And we're very young. Right now the department is very, very young. which is good and bad. We lack experience right now, so we're making a lot of mistakes out there, but the attitude is good. You know, the attitude's real good.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you. All right. Moving on to agenda item number 19, discuss and act on appointment of Joseph Nelms to the position of municipal court prosecutor. Ms. Harris, do you have a presentation?
I do. I am losing my court prosecutor for the municipal court prosecutions. Mr. Masharbis is leaving me at the end of the month, and I have reached an agreement with Mr. Joseph Nelms, who I always know as Joey, or Captain Nelms, because he's a former police captain with the Paris Police Department, that this hire has been well received with both the police department, and those guys can be really difficult to make happy, both within the department and in the court staff. So he's agreed to work for me at the same rate as Mr. Musharbish agreed to 3 years ago, $100 an hour, and it falls within my budget in the outside attorney budget line item. So I would ask that the court approve this hire for me to retain Mr. Nelms as the municipal court prosecutor, and he's here if you have any questions.
Yes, please.
Council, I want to open up the floor for any questions for Mr. Nelms. Anything that you have on your mind?
No, I think it's a great hire. It's a great hire. I think we couldn't have done any better. I think Joey's going to serve us very, very well.
He comes highly recommended to me from a certain judge I know, and who says he's doing great, and I expect to lose him in a couple, 3 years when he's too busy to do this anymore. But I hope to be able to work with him for as long as I can keep him.
I know I appointed you last year onto the Housing Authority. Thank you for your service. You guys have really done a great job with that program and all that you work on. So
Yes, sir.
We're really thankful to have you and your services. And we want to make sure you got the right job, not the reporter job. You know, do want to make sure we got that correct.
I was going to renegotiate that for a second if I was saying that. We need to take a step back.
Janice, how does that affect the Housing
I have to
Authority?
resign from the Housing Authority.
Man.
Losing a good one there. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yes, but that board's going well, and I do think they are doing great work, especially in some areas in conjunction with the police department, helping them out. So I'm glad for the work. You know, I'm glad that we've made some progress there as well.
Good. Any other discussion? If not, I'll hear a motion.
I make the motion that we hire Joey Nelms as the city prosecutor.
I second.
We got a motion and a second for Mr. Ellis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you very
Yes, sir.
much.
Agenda item number 20, receive bids for the 7th Street Southwest Reconstruction Project. Discuss and award a contract in the amount of $326,338.10 for the project and authorize the city manager to execute all necessary documents. Mr. Mitke, do you have a presentation?
Yes, we had to rebid this project. There were some issues with the prime contractor bid in the first round, so we rebid it and got a different contractor. And I actually found a better way to cure the concrete in the meantime, so we're going to get a little bit better product. I included that in the new specs, and I think we'll be pleased with the outcome. The only downside is we couldn't get it done or even started now till school starts, so Chisholm will have to have that impact, but it's a relatively short contract of 35 calendar days, and so it'll be done in September if we could get done soon. So the low bid was $326,338 from Wheeler Construction. The next highest bid was $300 over that from Drake Companies, and the third high bid was about $30,000 over that. So the difference between bidder 1 and 2 is very, very close as I've ever seen, actually.
And this project is the one that we're doing in a cost-sharing arrangement agreement with the CEFCO station there. So that's basically a 50-50 cost split.
Council, any discussion, any thoughts on this item?
Yes, about, I don't know, within the last month, there's been some work done on that street. You know, blacktop, did the city do that?
Yeah, our public works crews did that just to get it open and let it be used for the time that it take to rebid the project. So
And then you may have said it, when are we gonna start work with this, if it's approved?
as soon as the contract is approved for you for Mrs. Beverly's signature for the contracts, it'd probably take about a week and a half to get the contracts done because the contractor has to go to their surety and get different bonds.
Yeah, so within the next month.
Yeah, definitely in the next month.
So we're gonna tear up all that work that we've already paid for
Unfortunately, yes.
and redo it. Yeah, I saw that work done, and I was like, are we gonna come and, I don't know, it just seemed like a waste to me.
It was, so, I mean, not, well, it kind of is a waste, but what happened was I actually had shut that street down for a little bit just because of the danger, because the potholes were so big and deep. And we thought we were good because we were gonna go with that bid and it would get there before, you know, it was a nuisance to have it shut down. But then when we had this issue come up with the other bid, we had no choice but to fix it and
Okay.
open it for a little bit. The original plan would have worked out, we wouldn't have had to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm curious, does CEFCO have any guidance on this because they're splitting cost, or it's just us with these three bids?
They put all of that in our court to
Okay.
do the design, do the bids. Former manager Path asked them to help with the design. They said no. So something he told me was they get what they get.
Okay.
But that being said, we're getting an excellent product. They have reviewed the design documents and bidding documents, and they're on board with it. They like it. We're widening it a tiny bit, just so that where they can turn in the truck turning radii are a lot better, and also keeping the water main that's very close to the edge of the existing pavement maintainable, and also improving the drainage from the city street and CEFCO where it goes into the shared ditch, kind of making that better too.
Great.
And since we first started talking about this, the CEFCO's had an ownership change, and the new team has been very easy to work with.
Excellent.
I had one quick question regarding this. I know it kind of shifts our timetable back a little bit, but we do have good communication between the GC and the school, correct?
They've assured me they will have good communication, but I do not know that they've made contact yet.
Is there any way the city can help to facilitate and make sure that they at least get in touch with each other and make sure that
Yes.
we're good? Because safety is of the utmost priority, and we want to make sure that, hey, all citizens are taken care of. Any kind of passage, any kind of road construction, we're making sure we're safe, and at least there is a good display out there, signage to say, hey, can't enter this, we're working here. It's all, it's all up in good condition. And that goes with all of our schools. I know we're going to be a little delayed on some of the projects for the streets, but I just don't want to hear of any bad things happening. I want to make sure everyone's informed and the best notice is out there.
Absolutely. We'll make sure that happened, and I've been talking to a couple of the different principals, Aiken and Givens, and also one of the assistant superintendents to make sure that everything's going smooth, and we're on track to have everything paved by the schools before school starts. So that'll be really smooth. Yet still some of the busy streets will have impact during the school year a little bit because they're going to be paving through the month of August, which is this is not on the agenda. Please stop me if you'd like me to stop. But it'll be smooth, Lord willing.
Thank you.
Good
Any
point.
other questions? If not, I'll hear a motion. Got a motion from Ms. Norman,
Second.
Yes.
second from Mr. Atterbury. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries 7-0. Agenda item number 21, discuss and act on the addition of a community development analyst position. Ms. Rose?
Yeah, while Mr. Almomensa is going to present this to you, I want to make it clear that this, we are not adding an additional position. This is we're going to have the same person helping with other things, but just basically changing the work that the person's doing. So we are adding a position in the sense of it's a new job description, but we're not adding an additional person, just changing what she's doing. and he'll tell you why.
Thank you. Greetings, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Council. So, within so many local governments and in the process of creating analyst positions, it has become clear that there is the need for such type of positions. And considering the high volume of current projects and the need for planning and community development to maintain regular engagement with staff, council, and community, I'm recommending the creation of this new community development analyst position. This role will be established in place of filling the previously budgeted community development coordinator position, like she said. And there is the need for the analyst position to assist also the IT department to train employees due to the proposed new upcoming 311 program platform software for the department and other departments as well. It will also be obvious that there have been challenges to the use of the current MyGov 5 software. And moreover, the department does not have enough staff to implement the recommendations of the recently adopted housing study, and also including the proposed upcoming comprehensive plan update. The general summary of this position will support the planning division by coordinating training, analyzing departmental needs, and assisting with long-range housing and development initiatives. This role will serve as a liaison between the city departments, technical teams, and the public to ensure effective communication and program implementation. So within the department, the analyst will report directly to the Director of Planning and Community Development and would also provide support for IT functions, including but not limited to support the Planning and Community Development Department as a training and development analyst, assisting in the gathering and documentation of technical and functional requirements from various city departments. The position will also participate in planning and developing specialized training, staff development, and occasionally customized and technology-based training. This person will attend meetings with key users and understand operational needs and purpose viable technology solutions. The person will also help bridge communication between technical teams and user departments to ensure project alignment with organizational goals. We therefore recommend adding this analyst position with the Planning and Community Department. Budget-wise, the Community Development Coordinator position, the previous one, was funded in the current fiscal year, but has not and will not be filled. Therefore, these allocated funds can be repurposed to recruit and support the salary and benefits of the proposed analyst role, resulting in a marginal or insignificant impact on the current budget. Staff therefore recommends adding this position to the current pay scale at grade 195. Thank you.
Council, is there any discussion?
So let me understand, all of those tasks that you listed, this person is going to do, right?
Correct.
So are y'all redistributing the work that they were doing to somebody else? Or help me understand that.
You are asking whether the current position that person is doing?
Yeah.
That person was in charge of part of the permit tech position.
Yeah, who's taking care? Is that being redistributed? Is that right?
Yes, that is taken care of already.
Okay.
So
all right.
It shouldn't be a problem. Yeah.
And then who's the direct supervisor? That's you?
Yes.
Okay. Wanted to make sure I got my guidance on the alignment there.
Correct.
And you talked about some extra training. Are they doing that someplace else? Is there a program that they're, or online, or how, what did you talk, what kind of
You're
training?
talking of the 311 program?
Oh,
Is the new IT software that we're going
okay.
to use, yeah, so.
Okay.
I will say this, I do appreciate you guys getting creative, because, look, budget's hard, finances are tough right now, and it's tough to keep the city running with the resources that we have, but I appreciate you all looking into things and really trying to whittle down the nickels and dimes to see, hey, how can we redistribute? If we don't need to add another individual or another employee, then let's not do it. Let's figure out how we can be creative and consolidate. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and I will give, like you said, I'll give credit to Trinity Fraser. She was very instrumental in getting this person to stay because her skills are much more needed somewhere else, and she was able to retain this person, and she did very good on doing that. Thank you.
Fantastic. Council, I'll hear a motion if there's no further discussion.
I make a motion of the addition of the community development analyst position.
We've got a motion from Ms. Putnam, second from Ms. Norman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to agenda item number 22, discuss and act on a contract with UKG Imix Technology Incorporated in the amount of $88,117.60 for purpose of software and related services pertaining to payroll and human resource features. Staff, do you have a presentation?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. I do. As you know, OpenGov acquired STW, and when they did that, one of the things that was made clear to the city is that they did not have payroll software. So we could go along with the STW portion of our payroll software for so long, and then it would get yanked out. So we had to have another plan. Since that, and that was happening when I got here. So when I got here, they had been doing the research, Mr. Anderson and his team, to try to figure out what they were going to do, and they had narrowed it down to either OpenGov, who was just creating a payroll software, or UKG, which had been works really well with OpenGov and is one of their partners since they didn't have the software to offer with their suite. So we decided as a team that our recommendation would be to go with UKG. It is a little bit more expensive for sure, but with OpenGov, they have less features. And with OpenGov as well, we would be piloting it as a test. So we do not have enough staff to do that type of work because that takes extra work on our part and running double payrolls and all that stuff. And although it would save us a little money, I don't think it'd be worth it. I wanted to let you guys know that the UKG software has extra things like online recruiting tools and HR capabilities, including onboarding software and things like that. It's backed by Kronos, which is one of the longest running timekeeping systems in existence. So we do know that we feel confident about the decision and how it will interact with our current software. And I think the team had done a really good job before I got here of researching that, and that is our recommendation to you all. The amount that would be included in the 25-26 budget is a yearly cost of $70,000 and a one-time launch cost of $17,000. So in total, we do have this included in the budget presentation that I will be giving to you, and especially going through more on August 11th, is $88,000, $88,117.60 is what we got them down to.
And in case you're looking at that number and asking yourself, that's over $50,000, and why isn't that being bid out? This is a contract that is on the state's information technology organization. It's more or less a buy board for technology. And so they've already pre-vetted the vendors, and there is already a bid contract that we can take advantage of under the cooperative bidding. So that is perfectly legal. It is a well-known state, run by the state of Texas site. I would suggest to, if someone wants to make a motion to approve this, we're still looking at some of the details of the contract. So I would suggest that if you're going to approve that, you would approve it subject to our being able to agree to a contract that's approved by the city attorney.
The amount would stay the same. It's some of the internal portions of the contract that we're still working on.
Council, I'll open up the floor for discussion or any questions you may have. And if not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make it.
Okay. Got a motion from Mr. Ellis, second from Mayor Pro Tem Savage. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. Motion carries 7-0. We will now move on to agenda item number 23, receive presentation of the proposed fiscal year 25-26 budget, discuss and provide direction to staff. I believe Ms. Beverly has a presentation.
All right. Well, we have been working really hard to get a mini presentation together to get this budget filed with the clerk. I'm going to start by telling you, you have binders in front of you. That's to follow along with this presentation if you don't want to do so, but leave your binders here because we have to fill those full of your of more information, and we will get those out to you this week. So just in case you wanted to look at it for now, you could, but we'll get those out to you right away with all the budget line for line, okay? What we're going to talk about today is the timeline, the staffing. We'll go into a little bit more detail on the capital. Can you guys hear me okay? I might not be close enough. The capital and what has been included in those, we haven't really gone into that too much. I'm probably not going to go line for line through the current estimate of department costs, but we're going to go to the very end of that and hit the really high notes. I don't want to take up too much of your time. So the goal of tonight is for me to kind of start the conversation, and then we come back on the 11th presentation. Would like you to have had time to digest this information and then get those details and go through it and make sure that we can either decide from there. If you have a lot of questions, we can come back and do some workshops to go through those, or we can do a full presentation in a council meeting if there's not a lot of questions or concerns. But we'll have to make that decision based on some of this information. So where we're at in our timeline right now, you can see we are filing the proposed budget with the city clerk and presenting a copy of that to you. We just have to get those things totally printed out, and we'll get those to you this week. And then August 11th, we'll give the budget presentation to you, and that'll be the full budget. So today is to start the conversation and give you the information to go through. And then if we need to do some workshops, we can do those. The 12th or the 14th. On August 28th, we'll publish a proposed budget hearing notice and publish a proposed tax rate notice. And the notices should be added to the city website. So those are some of the details. On September 8th, we'll have the hearing. On September 9th, we'll do a special meeting to adopt the tax rate if no increases to the proposed budget are made. And September 11th, we'll publish the budget hearing notice. And by September 22nd, the budget hearing on the budget increases will be made, and we will adopt the budget. So, and on the 23rd, we'll adopt the tax rate if increases are made to proposed budget. So that's kind of where we're at the top, but we're honing right in on this whole process. I'm going to pause for just a second on the presentation and talk about where we're at right now with our staff. So, as you know, we had Bruce with us, and he is no longer with us. So we have brought in Michelle. She is working as the interim director, and we still have Jean helping as well. So we have been working on this budget. We had another person working as a consultant, Ken Nickel. He has worked with the staff closely. He went to each department to gather the information to put line by line in with them and make sure that everything was there that they were requesting. He also put all the capital budgets together. Michelle is now taking that information and helping me to digest it and get it out to you guys in a timely fashion, but it is a lot of work. So her and Samantha Goodell, the assistant finance director, have been working very, very hard to get all the information, make sure that it's all correct. And also, we've had a lot of changes here at the end because that's a part of the process. I'm working with the department heads. They bring me what their wish lists are for capital, and then we spend weeks kind of going back and forth, and this budget does include my final cuts. So there are a lot of things they asked for that didn't make it to the end. And Michelle, as of last week, was still putting in those ins and outs and making the final changes. So Jean has helped a lot, and of course Jackie Iltis is helping. Myself and the staff working really hard to get this all done, but it's a little different this year. One, because we're using a software. We're using a budgeting software, and that is specifically to put the budget into, which wasn't happening before. So that's a huge change. But the biggest change is that you had a man here for 40 years who is a well-oiled machine, and we're all just trying to figure it out without him because it's not what he's here to help us with right now. He's here to help us with the audit, but he does get brought into it quite often, so thank you for that. So, talking about staffing, the change is starting with the next round of new hires for police is one of the things that we have changed, and the starting salary will be $62,000 until they're certified. So that's one of the things we did to try to take some of the pressure off the budget. They will go, once they're certified, they will start making the starting range that we were advertising. In EMS, we have one of the openings. The job description will change to Deputy Chief of Training and Logistics with the salary of $75,000. The library will eliminate the part-time person. They had one part-time person, that's going away. They don't have the need for that. In the city manager's office, we will add an analyst and one business development staff position. It says two. That was supposed to be, we'll work on getting that changed for you guys. It's just one. I don't know how the two ever got put in. And we will eliminating, as you know, the ACM and the DCM positions. So in engineering, this is going to be a really important change that we've talked about. We're adding an administrative assistant. And in Main Street, we're adding an event coordinator. Actually, going back to the city manager, I'm sorry, it's one business development person and one analyst. Yeah, so it just says two. So we're just adding two. So it's basically a net, we're not increase or decrease in how many people are in city manager. Before I go on, so we're going from a total of 250 people on staff to now in general fund 252. So those added positions will be a business development person if we decide to do that, but we will have it funded if that's the case, and we will have the analyst person that will be working with me as an HR government analyst. So just to be clear with that, is there any questions before I move on? Okay. The City of Paris staff budget, that's a capital projects. So this is kind of where the rubber meets the road. One of the things I think it's interesting to note, and this kind of basically just generalizes it all, and we will go into the breakdown of it a little bit more. We have 1.77 million in capital projects that we're funding in the general fund, and almost 2 million that we funded with tax notes. And a lot of that, as we'll go into it more and break it down, is for the fire department and some other emergency services items that we have not been able to catch up on at all. So the water fund is pretty close to last year's budget. They're doing about $778,000 in capital. They're trying to stay steady with how much they're putting into that. The airport's going to do about $200,000, and we'll have some grant funded capital items at $370,000, and that is our planning, our Parks Master Plan and our comprehensive plan. So in the police department, they're getting 3 patrol vehicles. They have 3 funded. They are getting some outdoor warning sirens, and they're getting downtown park surveillance cameras. So those are the items included in theirs. I'm not going to go into the tax note side. I think we've already gone over that several times. But I do want it in here so you have it as a comparison. For the fire department, they need a kitchen remodel at Station 1, furniture replacement, hazmat suits and testing equipment, and some exercise equipment. And I've been asked about that exercise equipment. It is really important that because they're living there at the station, that they have decent exercise equipment while they're there. And for EMS, they're doing basically an ambulance a year. They need some equipment for their ambulance, and they need stair chairs. So, and like I said, when we get to this part of the budget, I've already cut out a lot of items. Public Works has a lift station that they're doing. They have to get a new mower. They're getting some cameras for the sports complex, a trailer, and a finish mower. And city manager, we have some customer service training that I've funded. We've talked about that. I think that's going to be very important. And also some public information, social media training. Oh, there it goes. Okay, I was like, oh, I'm gone. For the finance department.
Ms. Beverly, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask a quick question.
Yeah.
Regarding the police department on the roof replacement.
Yeah.
Are we going to do that on another budget?
Going backwards. So that's about 800,000. So it didn't make the cut. But what I would like to do with that, and I have to get with Mark McCliney, we talked about that earlier. He's our advisor from Samco. I think we are probably going to need to do a tax note for that, and probably the roof at the library also needs to be replaced, and probably some other items as well that need to be fixed. So we'll get with you guys later this year about that, or maybe early next year.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Stop me at any time. So I think we were at the city manager. We'll go to IT. So there was a lot of things in IT this time, and we've had just infrastructure renewal. And as you know, I think that this is probably one of the, almost $400,000 just in IT alone. Sometimes you can't do anything about that. You get to the point where the stuff needs to be replaced, and it needs to be replaced. And you don't have a choice in that matter to a certain extent. But we did get as creative as we could. This was a lot higher. Celso and I have worked really hard with the departments to try to figure out ways that we could do the same thing, but in a better way, and maybe save some money. Not better, but a way that we could save money. And so, without cutting too many corners. One of the things you'll see in here is the My Paris Connect 311. That's building our own infrastructure, as we've talked about, so that we can have that 311 platform for us to communicate better with the citizens. I'm really excited about that, and I will say that once we have that done, it will save us money, because then we're going to have our own internal operations, and we will have to pay to use the cloud for storage, but we won't have to pay those fees to run that software from somebody else. So it'll be an initial cost up front, but I think in the end it'll work better. And we have to redo telephone system at PD, and there's just some other various things. And we also will be purchasing a used vehicle for IT. Right now, they drive all over town to go to all the different places, and they don't have a good, reliable vehicle for that, and they've been using their own vehicles. And for community development, we have some community development programs that we're continuing to fund, a Main Street mural. That I think we could take out a hot tax, but it does need to be budgeted. So engineering, one thing that will come out of here that I have not talked to Michelle about, but I just found out about this on Friday. So we will go down 100,000 on this, is the TxDOT bike lane. It was budgeted for this year, and it will happen this year. So we're going to take that out because that will already be done. The consulting on the stormwater drainage and solutions, Argus software, Main Street curb gutter and bump outs, we want to get those done, and we're going to work with a consultant on a drainage study. In the finance, we'll replace the payroll system. We talked about that, and we talked about that today. And water and wastewater, I'm not going to go into each one of these items, but because some of it, it is what it is. But as you take this home and you will be able to look at this presentation, we'll get you more information. So water and waste, the billing and collection, they need some more equipment and some radios. We're going to have the ramp expense and the fuel farm expense at the airport, and grant projects. Also, just so you know, and the grant projects is the comprehensive planning. We do put in here $100,000 for the shared fuel farm with the county. That is in this year's budget. We're going to talk about revenue. So Revenue for property tax has gone up. If I did my math right, it should be around 500,000. We're taking the de minimis rate, and that brings that up about $500,000. Sales tax, though, has gone down a little bit, and we are trending down a little bit this year right now. I don't know that we will meet how much money we had budgeted for revenue on sales tax, and as you know, that's not something we can control. So EMS revenue, we are projecting for that to go up, and they've been doing a really good job with how their collection method. They're doing everything they can, and on that, sanitation fees will be the same. I think the use fee, we're projecting that to go up just a little bit. Hotel motel tax, I think, will go up, and we could even raise that higher than what it is. Interest rate, though, that's something, the interest earned, that's going down. That's a revenue that we project to go down, kind of like sales tax. Interest is not going to, we are not going to meet our budget on that this year. The permits and leases revenue will go up. The court revenue, we're projecting it to stay about the same, and other revenue, which probably has grants in that, I would imagine will be projected to go up. I'm not going to go into this line by line, but it will be here for you to look at, and this is the summary part of revenue. So I'm skip to this screen. So I think this is really important. The preliminary number at the far end here of general fund is projecting that we will go into the hole this year $1.442 million to meet our general fund obligations for this year. Last year, we were projected to go 1.867 into the red, and I do not think we will do that, but a huge part of that is because we did not fill all the police positions. This year, we will, and they are budgeted, and I think we will fill them. So next year, I'm sorry, we will fill them, and I believe it will happen. This year will not happen, and I think we'll be okay on our budget. I do not think we're going to go into the hole this year, but next year, I believe we will. As far as the water fund goes, that looks a little bit deceiving because it's not accounting for the bond payments. So it looks like we're going to be far, far ahead of the game, but we've got some hefty payments that'll be coming out of that revenue. And the airport, it's projected that we might go in the hole about close to 100,000, but that could be, it could go the other way. And a big portion of that is something that we talked about at our last meeting, but we have to add another person to the airport because we cannot have what happened to us this past couple of months happen again. We just don't have the coverage we need. So we have to have a third person. But that could just as easily swing to the positive at the airport because they're doing such a good job with their revenue on their fuel sales. So that is what I have for now. Does anyone have any questions?
I had one question. This is for clarification from an individual that had posted online about this topic. They had said that the city was funding hangar projects. We don't have any money associated with any hangar development, correct?
Not that I'm aware of. There is a private investment going on at the airport right now.
Private
hangars.
investment.
Private,
Thank you.
yeah. Yeah.
All right. Any questions for Miss Beverly?
Okay, so we'll get you your packets together. We'll get those out to you this week. Please go through them and then communicate with me, please, on if you have certain issues in the budget that you want us to go through so that I'll know if we can just do a budget presentation in the council meeting or if we need to have a side workshop to get further into details, okay? Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Oh, I had one more thing. I almost forgot. Good thing I brought a note. So just so you know, we do have PEG funding, and that's the money that we get from cable channels from the state. And so they give us about $35,000 a year. We currently have about $865,000 in an account collecting money from that, but it can only be used for very specific things. Thank you to John McFadden because he knows what those items are. And so what we're going to do, because they can only be used for very specific things, and this will be in your budget information, you'll see a whole new fund in there. We have things in that he wants to buy that would meet the requirements of that funding. Replace the council chamber production system, production equipment for outside the council chamber, fiber connections to help with that. So in the first year, just to get everything up and running, to start our PEG channel so that we can start broadcasting live on the cable network, costs about $125,000 to get started, but after that, the expenses will go down. But I just want to let you guys know that there will be a fund that will have expenditures added that we don't have out yet. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we will now move on to agenda item number 24, convene an executive session pursuant to section 551.072 of the Texas Government Code to deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property if deliberation in an open meeting would have a detrimental effect on the position of the governmental body in negotiations with a third party, with a third person. The time is 7:16 p.m. and the City Council will convene in executive session. All right. We will now reconvene into open session. It is now 8:03 PM. And is there any items that we need to move for any sort of motion?
I move to approve the request of the PEDC to purchase 102.33 acres along the southeast loop for $1,228,000.
Okay, we got a motion?
Second. Shatar.
Motion and a second from Ms. Moore. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries 7-0. We will now move on to agenda item number 26, consider and approve future events for the city council and/or city staff pursuant to resolution number 2004-081. Does anyone have anything?
I have one question. This
Yes.
is probably not the appropriate place. But the question is, who is responsible for maintaining or mowing around the bus stop areas? The grass is 3 feet high around many of the bus stop areas, so I didn't know who that falls to.
Do we have any, that's a great question.
That's information to get back to them.
Yeah, I'll work on that.
Okay.
I did.
Okay, thank you. We look at MA and he's like, yeah, it probably depends on the one. Is there any? Yeah, that's a good question. Any in particular that I can write down?
There were two on Lamar.
Okay.
There's one at the corner of 9th and Lamar.
I'll nominate Chief.
And then there's one further east on Lamar.
Okay. Good question, thank you.
I just had two things. I know from earlier, we did have Mr. Thompson come up and he was speaking about something. I'm going to reach out to him just to understand more of what he wanted to continue on about. But Mr. House did relay the issue of the street lights, and I know, in case if he didn't understand earlier, I know that was made aware by Chief. So if we can just reach out to Mr. House just to make sure that he can report his lights, his street lights, to Assistant Chief Tuttle. I think that's it.
And then also on the area that he was talking about,
Yeah, the collegiate in Clarksville.
spray some poison there and be done with the weeds.
I have to look at it, but
I've got a note to take a look into that.
another thing that will help with that is the right-of-way ordinance that we have in the works too, because I would imagine that's in the right-of-way, and that, I mean, some of those properties, that might be, if it's on the corner right there, I know one of those properties is vacant, but for other properties where we're having those issues, trying to make sure that the people who own the property are taking care of the property, because it's just a lot for us to get to it all, so.
I think that's just right in the middle of it's right in the middle of the street where the street splits, so it's not on a property.
I think the confusion on this, is it might be TxDOT right away.
Yeah.
So that's where we end up having to maintain it. Now, Mr. House and I have discussed this before this matter, but I think that it's a TxDOT right away, but we end up having to maintain it because it's grass. But I would like to
I may
maybe.
have had it confused with another intersection.
Oh, you good. I think we would like to maybe potentially entertain a discussion with TxDOT to see, is there a way that we can permanently put something in there, such as pavers or concrete?
I've been very nice so far.
I know you
about
have.
trying to get
I'm
off-
sorry. Okay.
Off of the agenda.
Sorry. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, you're right. We're trying to push and get as much as we can get done.
I had a future, and I'm trying to stay in line, that possibly setting up a meeting or something with John or putting on the agenda with John to push it, that citizens can report light outages to Encore.
They put it on the agenda as an item.
I said that to satisfy.
Yes, I could do that. Thank you, thank you. I was so confused.
It could be maybe a discussion item.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. All right, anyone else?
Announcement.
Okay, if not, then we will go ahead and move to adjournment.
So moved.
There we go. We got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? All right, we're adjourned, 7-0.